According to some researchers, after the World War II in 1945, the GHQ took a lot of different words from Japanese alphabet. And apparently they had a plan to turn our alphabet into American ABC alphabet. But why GHQ wanted to do such a thing? Because we lost the war already. Like, what do they want? The only reason why they wanted to do such a thing is because they understood the power in the Japanese language. So we have three different alphabet: Chinese alphabet, and katakana, and hiragana. So apparently, according to the history, these katakana and hiragana actually came from this Chinese origin alphabet. However, there's researches about the ancient Japanese alphabet which was born way before this Chinese alphabet that came from China. So since the ancient Japanese history, they believed that there's a spirit, there's an energy in each word. And the sound of the word can literally make you sick, but at the same time, sound of the word can heal you from the sickness. And this is exactly why GHQ wanted to take that away from us. So in this video, I'm going to teach you Kotodama, which is the spirit that dwells in the word, and how you can tap into this energy and spirit so that you can manifest your dreams in your life. I assume we all are familiar with affirmations and then all this vibration, frequency, energy, and etc. But this is not like that, because we're talking about the spirit in the words. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sho Nomoto. I am a mindset coach and I'm a TEDx speaker. I help people to achieve their goals, grow their business, manifest their dreams by reprogramming their mind and raising vibration. So without further ado, let's dive in. Today's video, Kotodama, the spirit of the word. So as we start, I want to ask you a question. When you look at these two different shapes, which one do you think is the verb and which one do you think is the kiki? So either one is the verb and then either one is a kiki. And I'm going to tell you the answer straight away, because 98% of the people, it doesn't matter your gender, man or woman, it doesn't matter, or even your skin color, even your language doesn't matter, even if you don't speak Japanese, it doesn't matter. 98% of the population answer, this is the verb and this is the kiki. But why though? It's because we have a certain idea that uses our imagination when we hear the word verb or kiki. Also, one of the reasons why is that when you say the words kiki, there's a specific movement in your mouth, and that actually associates with such an edgy shape of object. And this is so interesting. Not only just the shape, but if you take a baby who cannot speak anything yet, like not even a mama, dada, okay? Not even that. If you take the baby to show him or her the elephant, that baby said, oh. And if you will show the baby a blue sky, then the baby will say, ah. So you see, there is something that even before we understand the language and then try to speak, even before we learn the ability to speak the specific language, we know what kind of sound to make. Because if you think about it, if you are in the hot spring in Japan, if you came to Japan, and I highly suggest to go into the hot spring because it's amazing, right? It's like you're going to be in a hot spring, and then the first thing you're going to say is like, ah, or perhaps, whoo. You're not going to go into the hot spring and then say, cha, or pee. You're not going to say those things, right? I'm 100% sure that you're going to say like, ah, or a foo, or something like that. It's because when we experience something, there's always some specific the sound of the words. And this is also how you can tap into the different dimension. And when I say the different dimension, I don't talk about wishy-washy stuff. Here's an example. I was in Bali two months ago, and I'm actually going back to Bali. In Bali, it was after the surfing, and I just came out from the ocean, the surfboard, you know, still in my right hand, and I saw this beautiful blonde girl with bikinis, beautiful tan skin, and look at me and then smile a little bit. So I smiled her back and introduced myself and then start talking. You see, when I actually give you just the explanation of what happened, you can vividly, with the details, experience it in your mental space, which is a different dimension. So the sound of the word connect with our imagination, because you are not there. Only thing I did was just explain it with the words. So this is how you can tap into the other dimension, which is only human being has. We can use our imagination. Only thing we need to do is just imagine. Or you can describe using the power of language, power of the words. By the way, what does Kotodama mean in the first place? It is the spirit of the words, the spirit that dwells in the word. This word means say, and this word means spirit or ghost or something very spiritual, something that you cannot explain, something that you cannot touch. We usually say spirit or ghost, and this is say. So which means the definition is this: 言葉に宿る不思議な力. It means the mystical power, the superpower that dwells in the words. So in Japan, we use a lot of different sounds in our day-to-day life. When we look at the when you think of some ideas, like you go like, I got it, right? You're not gonna go like, I got it. No, it's always like, According to the expert, the sound of in Japanese, we write like that. This is the sound of the words that connect with the universe, connect with the God. And it makes sense because arigato starts from this, and then also the entire alphabet starts from So if you want to connect with your higher self or universe oftentimes, and then you want to say a lot of So how I was guided and navigated and protected and also helped me to achieve and manifest my dreams. I'll give you a good example. So when I was stuck at $10,000 a month and starting my business and then start going, in a good wave, but then I was stuck. When I was stuck, all I was saying was, it's difficult. It's difficult to achieve XYZ, and then it's very, very hard to do XYZ. So all my mind was occupied with such a sentences and such a word. And obviously the more I say it, that becomes real, it becomes a confirmation within myself, and it becomes confirmation in the reality, and therefore it is exactly what I created. I created my reality, I manifested exactly what I was saying, because I was giving the spirit life into the words I say. So I'm literally feeding my soul and spirit and my energy into the words that I say. And who is the closest person listening to you every single day? It's you. You are the closest person listening to what you say or even what you think. So even if you're not speaking or saying out loud, the thought itself is a kotodama. The thought itself is banging your subconscious and then literally creating your reality as you think. And when I was stuck, that's exactly what I was doing. I was creating and manifesting exactly the reality that I was giving a life and spirit and soul into. And the reason why is because I was focusing on external factors. I was focusing on the marketing, I was focusing on the strategies, business strategies, XYZ. And all I felt was just miserable, and I felt stuck and frustrated. I was annoyed because I was focusing on the things that are outside of myself. And don't get me wrong, of course, if you run a business, you have to understand the business. Of course, if you play a sport, you have to understand the rule of the sports. But you have to focus on yourself, because your reality is a complete reflection of your internal self, which means everything starts within and then ends within you. You essentially create the world and then you experience it. So understanding the fact that we create our reality, the fact that everything starts within us, which is the thoughts, our emotion, intention. We are the one creating and manifesting everything that we say and think and feel into our reality, and taking that responsibility for it. I step back and I really focus on my internal self back, because what I did was, when I achieved $10,000 a month, it was like a dream to me. It was like, oh my God, my dream is coming true. Like, wow, it's crazy, and I was so happy. But then I stopped to change my internal dialogue to even higher. So I had to step back and then reworked on myself and redefine who I am and all the internal world within myself to really surpass that goal. And for me to break through the ceiling and then just kept growing and growing and farther and farther and farther, I didn't focus on the marketing. I didn't focus on anything external. All I focused was myself, what I say, what I think about myself, and how I feel. Because your success and abundance and all the achievement is 90% internal and 10% is principle. There's nothing about strategy. There's nothing about all these things. And I can back this up because I had a chat with the business coach, and he even said, well, yeah, I agree. 80% of what I do for people to help their business is 80% mindset. So even the people who teach strategy actually understand 90% is internal, 10% is principle. So now we understand the power of the words, and even the words that we say, or even the sound of the words we say, ah or e or fu or ha or pi, whatever that is, there's a spirit in it. And then we also feed our spirit and soul into those words. But it begs the question though, how can we actually use this superpower or whatever, the Kotodama, the Japanese wisdom, into our life show? It's easy. I'm going to give you a very specific way to do affirmation. So as we discussed before, the shape or the elephant or the blue sky, the sound of the word connect with our imagination. And the roots of the color that we see, the red, orange, blue, or the sound or the shape is vibrational frequency. So the vibration frequency is literally everything. It's electric. It's the energy that we're talking about. However, when people say energy, it's not only just the energy is in such a broad perspective. We need to define what kind of energy that we are talking to, what kind of metrics that we are talking to. And as I said, I'll give you the affirmation that is going to literally help you to tap into the spirit of the words so that we can manifest and we can tap into this vibration frequency. So our goal, using this superpower of the word, is using our imagination, because this is the superpower that we have. This is the superpower of the human being, right? So we need to use the superpower because those are the tools. If you cannot, even if you're talented and you have the skills and you already are doing good in business, if you're not using the tool, then you're not getting the result. Even if you have the best laptop ever, if you cannot use it, of course, what's the point? It's garbage. So use your superpower because you have it already. But now we're talking about, this is Fushigi na Chikara, which is a superpower. So we're going to combine these two, our imagination and the superpower, which is the spirit, the soul, the energy in our words, focusing on the vibration frequency. But again, which metrics are we talking about? So what we're going to use as a tool is affirmation. And there's 3 different affirmations that I need you to do. And this is exactly what you're going to do. So what we're going to achieve in terms of vibration frequency is, one is your identity. Your identity, so which is I am, ... And I don't want you to just go like I am confident. That doesn't explain anything about your identity. So I want you to go ahead and create affirmation, which is a sentence that explains your identity. And now the number 2 is that I feel. Feeling is a secret. Never Galder said that. So I feel ... So define your emotional state, the feelings, okay? Because that's the different type of metrics of the vibration frequency. So you want to tap into that, of course, how I want to feel, or how I will be feeling if I have all of this manifestation right now. I will feel abundance, success, anything. So create a sentence, and the last is I have, or you can go and make. So, for example, like in terms of the money, you can say like I make $100,000 a month, or you can say I have G-Wagon, I have Lambo, or beautiful house, or beautiful family. You see, like you can turn into have or make, whichever that fits you. Create the sentence, and you are going to basically use this as a set because he explains the different metrics of vibrational frequency. And this is the thing, when you know all these spiritual gurus talk about energy, they don't actually define which metrics that they're talking about because they don't even know, right? So now we have 3 different metrics. So you are going to tap into a different aspect of yourself and then focusing on that vibration frequency. So what you're going to do is that you're going to say this affirmation not only just one time, but just do it multiple times throughout the day. Okay, you decide how many you want to do it. And then the most important thing is that most people do affirmation in the wrong way. Like, don't just go like, I am confident, or like, don't go like, ah, I feel the abundance, the universe is like, no. Put your fucking energy, all right? Like, what happens if you play a sport half-ass? You're a half-ass player. What if you run a business half-ass? You're half-ass entrepreneur. If you do affirmation half-ass, you're half-ass human being. You just half. That's it. So what you want to do is to put your energy every time you say, I am confident, and I am like doing this and doing that, public speaking, and my YouTube is growing and growing, and I have 1 million subscribers. Whatever you want to create, starting from I am, first defining your identity, and then like adding like all these experience or like things that you it ties to your identity. Put your energy. Don't half-ass affirmation. Affirmations and meditation is one of the most powerful practice that we can actually utilize as a practice, but most people are not utilizing it. And then people say meditation and the affirmation cannot make you successful. Well, guess what? These people are the type of people who's going to tell you to work 12 hours a day because all they focus is marketing strategies and external factors. So they cannot master their internal, or they cannot actually tap into the full potential, which is our superpowers, to create the life they want. That's why they might have everything they wanted, but probably they take so much and then they have to actually work 12 hours a day, while you can actually tap into this superpower, which is the spiritual, power that we're talking about. But it's not even a spiritual wishy-washy, it's logic. Manifestation is pretty much a logic. If you understand that equation, if you focus on yourself and how you feel and how you think and what you say, and also understanding the principle so that you can execute a certain action. And this is exactly how you can grow your business or make your dream come true, manifest whatever you want. Once you understand that spirit is in the words, but also you're feeding your own spirit into the words, because that is literally the source of the creation. That's the beginning of the creation. Once you start feeding into these words and thoughts, it was just a thought. But the same goes to the tree. It used to be a seed. But if you keep feeding your soul and spirit, that is going to literally bring you, because they think that's exactly what you want. So let's do a recap. Make sure that which metrics, the vibrational frequency you're tapping into, which is, we have 3 different metrics, right? The environment and position, and also the emotional state, and also your identity. This is how you create the heaven's cocktail of the vibrational frequency, which you are becoming into. With that said, if you're ready to invest in yourself, invest in your future, and then grow your business, start your business and make your dream come true, then apply from the link in the description. I will change your life. And I genuinely hope that this video will help you to really do the affirmations. If you have to, do it 10 times every single day, okay? And make sure to hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Like, comment, everything. It helps me to reach more people. Alright, with this said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.